Good afternoon, my beautiful constituents. It is our brother Prosperity Jones back again with another week of the Prosperity Jones Politics Sports Talk Show. And I am happy to be here with you all today. It is a pleasure to come here and talk to the constituency that I will govern over in the coming elections once we win this thing here in 2024. Once again, this program is brought to you today by this wonderful piece of literature by a young man I'm very proud of. Please go to Amazon or Audible to get you a copy today. That is Prosperity for All, written by our good brother, sometimes a very misguided brother, Tracy Branch. And again, my name is Prosperity Jones, the politician with the best hair in the business. And I'm here today to talk a good political topic and get into something that I love, which is sports and a little bit of entertainment. Because like all of you, I'm just a regular person. I'm a regular person, and I know I'm supposed to be, working on policies and taking care of my church folks as I often do. But the time I get to spend here with you, ladies and gentlemen, is priceless. And so today's political kickoff topic, we are going to address the best way that we know how racism in America. And I want you to listen to me when I say we are going to address racism in America. Now, I want you to take your time and think about all the hoopla that surrounds this topic on a daily basis. And I want you to then take a look back at my grandfather who was a slave and lived in a time in our great country where we were fighting the evils within ourselves that the Lord would not have us project onto any other group of people. With that being said, my brothers and sisters, we have come miles and ages from racism and where it first reared its ugly, ugly head in our country. And so the question, saints, is, does racism exist in America today? And if you asked your president, soon to be in 2024, I will have to tell you no. You have to look at the progress that we have made. Now I know, you might have had a Trayvon or George Floyd or Rakia Boyd or Trayvon Martin or Philando Castile or Amadou Diallo, and the names, they seem to go on. But what I'm here to tell you today is, look at the love that you see between our brothers and sisters from all different types of races across this country. We have come together and achieved a level of unity that has been unmatched. And under my tutelage as the president of these United States, that will only continue. Now you're gonna have people out here that are gonna say, Brother Jones, there's no such thing as progressive racism. You either have it or you do not. And to them, I will answer, if you do not take the steps to progress, how can you then get to the promised land? I'm going to say, if you don't take the steps necessary, y'all don't hear me, to progress, how can you get to the promised land? And in 2024, that's exactly where we're going. We are going to the promised land. And Brother Prosperity Jones is going to take you there. As we continue our conversation in regards to racism in this beautiful country that affords us so many luxuries, so many luxuries, I want to get into this topic from a political standpoint of reparations. Now you got the young man, governor in Cali, Newman, and nonsense, or this is what he's doing down there is nonsense. He's trying to push this progressive reparations conversation, and they're trying to do bills and taxes. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a way that we can get there and get those accommodated accordingly, but it doesn't have to be with the money, because money is evil, saints. Money is not going to help us get to that promised land. What we really need, if we're going to talk seriously about the topic of reparations, we need understanding. We need healing. Saints, we need healing. And in the first week of my presidency, we will have a time of mourning and a time of healing for what my ancestors had to suffer. And more important than any dollar, that would put food on your table, more important than any dollar that would find you some economic prosperity, more important than any dollar that would give your children a chance at a better life, is the unity of our great country. And so I want you to think about that when you talk to these individuals who say there's no way but their way. And saints, we know through the word that through Christ, all things are possible. And if you give Brother Jones, if we go out and vote Jones 2024, and we choose to build America back by making America great again, we are going to see a level of prosperity that this country's never seen before. And I'm excited to bring that to you. And in regards to reparations, I feel, brothers and sisters, you are not owed anything from this beautiful body of land that, yeah, I know you built, but you are not owed anything other than the opportunity to see her grow, just like us all. And with that being said, as I'm on the campaign trail with the best hair in the political business, last week I had an unruly young man come to one of my rallies. And this young man was bold in my audience. And as I was delivering a beautiful serenade to the audience that wanted to come and hear the good political word from the brother Prosperity Jones, I was interrupted by this ruly, unruly thug, and he proceeded to interrupt our rally, and when the brothers and sisters from my security thoroughly removed this young man, he was shouting out about black incarceration. And it brought a thought to my mind to say, in my first week, once we do this together, family, and I am elected, once we do this together, I will be sure I will be sure to address our black brothers and sisters behind that wall. Now, I know what you're going to say. How'd they get there? Systematic, white supremacy. I know where you're going to go. I know. But what I'm here to tell you is, going back to reparations, if we're going to do reparations, let us provide in the criminal justice system for black people. Now, I know what you're going to say. All black people are not criminals, but let's face it, maybe we have a few. And in my first week in the presidency, I'm going to address mass incarceration, because I truly feel that if I can get brothers out of that system and put them back on the streets where they had nothing and they were forced to do those crimes that put them in there in the first place, if I could just get them back out of that, and we all surround them with the love that I know this beautiful country provides, they will be able to rise. And I think when I'm on the road, and y'all ask my assistant Gertrude, I believe she's left for the evening when I get on to do this. But when you see Gertie out there on the road, and you ask her, she will remind you that Brother Jones is a very a kind man, and he loves his people. He loves his people. She will remind you that I will always put us first. And when I say us, I need to be very clear, and Gertie knows this: America, for Americans first. And so I want you all, as we ramp up this campaign and I close this political segment of the show, I want you all to remember, Brother Prosperity Jones is here for you, even when you're not here for yourself. I have to touch on our brother Kanye West. Now, a lot of you have seen in the media, this brother has chosen to wear a shirt that states White Lives Matter. And all through the campaign trail, and I'm talking to young people here, and I'm talking to young people there, and everyone is in an uproar about this man's opinion about white lives. Now, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Brother Jones, it ain't about that. The man is mocking us, and we've been dying, and the hundreds and hundreds of years of abuse, and Jim Crows, and black codes, and all types of mishaps that have happened to our community. And I hear you. But I want you to take a moment and think about the statement the shirt read. The shirt simply said, brothers and sisters, white lives matter. That is true. They do. And so do Black lives. And so do Latino lives. And so do Russian lives. And so do Irish lives. And all the lives. And under my leadership, this country, we will be able to come together in a way. I know what you're going to say. A petty move to put that understanding what Black Lives Matter has meant, and not so much for the movement, because if you understood it, as some of my young people will tell me, it's more than some thieves that had an organization. It is a statement of question, because it was a moment in time where people of color weren't sure if Black Lives Matter question mark was a yes. And so Brother Jones understands that. I understand that. I understand that. But what I need you to understand is about Brother Kanye is he's a genius. And when you're dealing with the genius, you must think with the left side of your brain so that you can open up your third eye of game and see just how profound that brother is. Whether it be a red hat of bigotry and forcing us all to acknowledge him, or a t-shirt that is, some would say, blatantly disrespectful to all of our ancestors. It is not about that. You have to look past that and look at the deeper meaning. He's under here. It's under the surface. You got to get under the surface to understand him. And that's coming from the politician with the best hair in the business. I had a deacon long time ago in my first ministry, and he would always say, Brother Jones, why does the flock choose to live and argue over the material things? And I would say, brother, because they haven't found a way closer to the godly things. I say, he would ask me, Brother Jones, why does the flock want to argue about material things? And I would tell him, brother, because they are not close enough to the God. And as your next president of these United States, I can promise, children, to bring you closer to things godly, to take our country to a place that we have not seen before. This is my favorite segment of the show. Now, I know as a politician, I should be out helping the people, and I should be out creating policies and bills or at study. But I find it much more helpful here to be on the internet addressing you folks about political issues and sports. And that's where we're about to get into. And so I want to talk quickly about the week 4 of this past NFL season. It was something to see. I spent all Sunday not at study, not shaking hands or doing the work that I was put in place to do. And I know some of you think you're a politician, you sure do have a lot of free time in your hands, but I would implore you to reconsider and think about, I'm a human and I have needs too. I am a human and I have needs too. And so thank you for allowing me the time and the comfort as some of our countrymen may be suffering, and I understand that, and poverty and miseducation, and all that aside, I feel it's important for our politicians to ride bikes, fall off those bikes, and even watch football on Sunday if they choose. And if you vote for me in 2024, you're going to get that and more of the same. And so, as we get into this week 4 wrap up, I must start with the Ravens, who have been the utmost of disappointments, allowing several comebacks over the last several weekends. And this one, again, is for Brother Harbaugh. Brother Harbaugh, I believe I said this last week, brother. I am going to need you to stop thinking you are the leader that Prosperity Jones is. You are not. And so you need to play the game in a much more conventional manner and give your football program a chance to win. You are putting that boy Lamar's trying to get his money. Now I know Brother Jones know a little something about money. I've always rolled up to the Lord's house in a very, very prestigious vehicle. I happen to, the congregation chooses to treat Brother Jones well as they listen to the beautiful words that the Lord has sent me to give to them. But Brother Harbaugh, you need to kick field goals and play football and allow your players to play and you coach. Multiple weeks in a row, my good sir, you have taken the football game out of your players' hands due to your selfish behavior. And I want to see our brother Lamar reap the fruits of his benefits, and I will not have that stifled by your foolishness. Get it together. The Indianapolis Colts are turning over the ball more than a lady of the night at a Mississippi brothel. And I hate to see a program with so much talent and promise continue under the tutelage of, again, another leader not up to the standards of a Brother Jones. And so, Brother Frank Reich, you need to call me and allow me to mentor you on the ways of getting your great players and putting them in positions to be successful. In my church league, and we know on this program, I talk about myself and how I physically dominated our church football league for quite some years, both the player and coaching ranks. And I look at Brother Frank Reich and I shudder with disappointment. Jonathan Taylor coming off one of the most fantastical seasons we've ever seen from a running back, and you continue, sir, to stifle him with regular runs to the clothesline of scrimmage over and over and over again. And I know the fans of the great city of Indianapolis are tired, are tired. And so the Colts are faced in week 5 with a very interesting conundrum. They will need to get back on track. I believe Thursday they will be without said star running back, and we will see, but I am not sure. I have to address, as we are talking about sports, I have to address safety of the game. And to the Miami Dolphins, today is a day of disgrace for you. And if I was president, I would take your franchise and give you two more. Because you know what the people want. And they want to see quarterbacks on the field. And I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. It doesn't matter if they could die in CTE and the week before it's concussion protocol and no one knows how he really got through that quickly. But listen, Miami Dolphins, I understand. Because in this great country of ours, it's money over health. And I don't want to sound crass and crude as I talk. I want our brother to be okay, but money is important. And that franchise knows that we want Tua and those two speedy gentlemen on the outside, and we want to see touchdowns, and that's what the Dolphins franchise is trying to deliver to the constituency at a time of need, and I am in support of it. Let's try to be safe. I know what you're going to say. Let's try. And is it worth his life? And what kind of message are we sending? And those may be valid points. I'm gonna say those may be valid points. The Dallas Cowboys don't believe the hype. I'm hearing the Cowboys fans as I hear them year in and year out, and this is our year, Brother Jones. I will be in Dallas in a couple of weeks to talk to the constituents out there, and I want to let you all know that it is a facade. But it's nothing nothing brings this country together more than seeing the Dallas Cowboys fail together. And so as we look forward to this slight ascension and then the mediocre crash of the Dallas Cowboys. And I think it will be interesting to see as it comes crashing down. It must have been, Saints, a very, very, very slow news cycle summer. Because as I was gearing up to make my announcement for your presidency, all I saw was Baker Mayfield news. And where will he go? And he's a first round pick. And I need to let everyone know that the Carolina Panthers should have never given a Scotch blood nickel for Baker Mayfield. What we have seen thus far from this young man is disastrous. Disastrous. And I am sad to see, but the entire organization in Carolina is in a state of turmoil. And to Brother Rule, if you, sir, do not figure it out, Brother Jones has it on good authority that you will be out of a position before season's end. In which case, sir, you are a brilliant mind, and I would love to bring you on to my analytical staff, and you can work for the next president of these United States. But I fear that your time in the beautiful place of Carolina may be coming to a quick end if you do not turn this around. Those are my highlights, Saints, from week 4. Let us go to week 5 in a brief preview. I won't keep you much longer. I know you have to get the kiddies to bed and lay your children to rest. And I want to also tune in to the young man that wrote this book here. They have a podcast. on Instagram Live. They'll be going on, and I want to catch it. And he's a colorful young man, and I like to listen to what he has to say from time to time. So go on ahead and tune on Instagram, the All Done Podcast. It is an interesting program, to say the least. But to our Week 5 preview, allow me to run it down for you. A few games I feel will be interesting to watch and have heavy implications on things to come. The Bengals and the Ravens in a division with the Steelers, who are lackluster. The Mitchell Trubisky experiment seems to be over, and they now need to go to an unknown situation in Brother Kenneth. And I am not sure they are contenders in that division any longer. One of the best defensive players for that team is sidelined. The Browns have a very unique situation at quarterback, and I would say to the young man, Deshaun, it only takes one masseuse moving forward, young man. Please do not overindulge with the ladies, please. But the Bengals and the Ravens will be a great game to watch because those are the two teams contending for supremacy in that division. I'm still going with the Ravens. That's who I've chosen in the beginning, and that's who I'm going to flock with, so to speak. And so I'm going to go with the Ravens to bounce back after two crucial losses. Many people say the Eagles are the best team in football. It's tough to argue it, but the Ravens, had not the blunders of Brother Hardball, would be in that conversation. The Jets are a surprise team game to watch. I think the Dolphins backup quarterback, the Jets have a great opportunity to go and beat the Dolphins in New York. I love the young gentleman, Zach. I would love for his mother to call me. The Jets sneak the Dolphins at home. The Cardinals and the Eagles, I believe the Eagles are going to be brought back down to earth this weekend. They are a good football team in a division that is poor, the NFC East, I feel. But the Cardinals are going to get on track. That offense is dynamic. They have playmakers on the defensive side of the football. And the Eagles need to have a bit of a reality check. Although, if I am picking a quarter season MVP, I will have to go with Brother Hurts. I am not yet sold on the totality of the football team. I am leaning, but I am not sold. And so I think they will become 4-1. The Cardinals get a very much needed pressure win because people seem to be doubting the large sum of money Brother Murray was able to come across this off season. And so this is a big one for him. The last one I will speak upon is I'm a huge fan of great leaders because I myself, Brother John, I am a great leader. That's why I will be your president in 2024. With that being said, Saints, I want to see the Patriots win because I am a fan of their leader. I was impressed even in a loss last week, what he was able to do. The Patriots will be a wild card team. And Bill, who is a great American, will see to that. And so that's my week 5 preview. I am so happy that I have the opportunity to come here and talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the week. Do not worry about the missing mustache. It is in the cleaners. Again, I am so grateful for the constituents, and I want you all to vote Jones in 2024. And I will see you next week.